Would you risk everything you have to test the honesty of a stranger? In a world of wealth, betrayal, and trust issues, one self-made millionaire's heart is about to be changed forever. But how? Stay tuned to uncover a story that will restore your faith in humanity. In a world where wealth is often equated with trust issues, Jonathan Reed was no exception. A self-made millionaire, he had climbed to the top of the business world through grit and relentless ambition, gathering luxury cars, extravagant estates, and an impressive bank balance. But if there was one thing he didn't have, it was trust in people. Jonathan's journey to success was paved with betrayals, broken promises, and deals gone wrong, leaving him suspicious of everyone's intentions. Recently, however, his loneliness and isolation weighed heavily on him. He found himself wondering if there was anyone out there who was genuinely good and trustworthy. One chilly evening, Jonathan decided to escape his world of opulence and visit a modest diner on the outskirts of town. Far from the glitz and glamour, this place was quiet and humble, with vinyl booths and the warm smell of home-cooked meals. It reminded him of a time long ago when he was just starting out, full of dreams and unaware of the sacrifices and scars that success would bring. The waitress who approached him was young, with a soft, welcoming smile. Her name tag read Emma, and there was a warmth in her eyes that instantly caught his attention. She treated him with the same respect and care as she did every other diner, unaffected by his tailored suit or expensive watch. While eating, an idea popped into Jonathan's mind. He wanted to see if Emma's kindness was genuine or if it would falter under the temptation of money. With a calculated plan, he casually left his wallet on the table and excused himself to the restroom, fully expecting to return to an empty table. Returning, his heart raced as he noticed the wallet missing from where he had left it. For a moment, his suspicions seemed confirmed. Had she taken it? But before he could react, Emma appeared at his side, holding the wallet out to him with a gentle smile. "I think you left this on the table," she said, her tone casual and kind. A mix of relief and slight disappointment swept over him. He was surprised, yes, but a part of him still wanted to believe that everyone had a price. He decided to repeat his experiment, convinced that she might act differently given another chance. The next evening, Jonathan returned to the diner. This time, he chatted with Emma, learning more about her life. She was putting herself through school while supporting her family after her father's recent passing and her mother's illness. Despite her hardships, Emma was cheerful and spoke about her life with a quiet resilience and hopefulness. After finishing his meal, he left his wallet on the table again, stepping outside to watch through the window. He held his breath as he watched Emma spot the wallet. She looked around, perhaps debating what to do. His pulse quickened. Was this the moment she gave in? But once more, Emma proved his suspicions wrong. She placed the wallet behind the counter and carried on with her work, completely unfazed. When Jonathan returned, she handed it back to him, her expression as polite and composed as before. His frustration grew, but so did his fascination. How could she be so steadfast, so principled? Jonathan began to visit the diner regularly, each time testing Emma in various ways. He'd leave cash under his plate, forget his watch, even slip a check into the napkin holder. Each time, she returned the items without hesitation. His respect for her grew with every visit, and he found himself looking forward to these small interactions. Then, one evening, he overheard a conversation between Emma and another waitress. She was discussing her mother's deteriorating health and the overwhelming medical bills. Her voice broke as she spoke, admitting she might have to leave school to care for her mother full-time. Jonathan felt a wave of guilt. He'd been testing this young woman's honesty while she faced such personal struggles. That night, he left a generous tip, hoping it might ease her burden. But when he checked the receipt, he found that she had only taken the amount for his meal, leaving the rest behind. This final act of integrity shattered his guarded heart. Emma had passed every test he'd set before her, and she'd done it with a quiet dignity that struck a chord deep within him. Jonathan realized she wasn't just honest, she was selfless and noble in a way that was rare to find. Determined to help without wounding her pride, Jonathan devised a plan. The next evening, he approached her with a proposition. "Emma, I'm a businessman, and I need a reliable personal assistant. Someone with integrity, qualities you clearly have." He offered her a well-paid job, masking his intentions as a career opportunity. At first, Emma was hesitant. But he reassured her, saying her honesty and work ethic were all the qualifications he needed. She agreed, grateful for the chance to earn more for her family. Over the weeks, Emma excelled in her new role, and Jonathan found himself growing increasingly attached to her presence in his life. She was diligent, dependable, and brought a sense of warmth he hadn't felt in years. She became more than just an employee. She became a confidant and trusted partner. Then, one day, while sorting through documents, Emma stumbled across an old photo. She recognized her father standing beside a younger Jonathan, both of them smiling in an old business setting. Realization dawned and she confronted him. Jonathan explained that her father had once been his closest friend until they had a falling out. Emma's honesty had reminded him of her father's values, reigniting a sense of respect and friendship. From that day on, Jonathan's life began to change. Inspired by Emma's influence, he started supporting charities, particularly those related to healthcare. Together, they established a foundation for students struggling to afford education, ensuring others wouldn't face the obstacles Emma had. She became the director of the foundation, using her story to inspire others. Years later, Jonathan looked back on his journey with Emma. She had started as a waitress, unsure of her future, and had grown into a guiding force behind a foundation that helped thousands. And Jonathan, once a hardened millionaire, found fulfillment in a legacy of integrity and compassion. Their lives had changed, not only because of the money he possessed, but because of the principles they shared. In the end, Jonathan's search for honesty had revealed his own capacity for empathy and kindness. And as for Emma, she looked back on their journey with pride, knowing that every test had shaped her into the woman she was today, a woman with a purpose that went far beyond herself.